The first time I saw a white egg hidden in our kitchen at midnight, I ignored it. I wish I didn't. By morning, it wasn't there anymore. I asked my husband casually, "Did you bring a white egg into this house?" Uh, he looked up from his phone, confused. "White egg?" he said. "You're imagining things." I wanted to believe him. We were only 3 months into our marriage. I didn't want to worry over something that could be nothing. But after that night, I never saw the egg again, and every time I mentioned it, my husband quickly changed the subject. The house felt different, not dirty, not messy, just off. Something didn't feel right. I started noticing something else. Every midnight, he would wake up quietly like he didn't want me to notice. He would step out, then return later like nothing happened. I kept telling myself he was just going to drink water, or check if the doors were locked, until one night. It was cold, so I woke up to turn off the AC. I reached for the remote, then paused. The bed was empty, and that was when I heard it. A faint sound coming from the kitchen. Soft, deliberate, like my husband was whispering to someone who didn't want to be heard. My heart tightened. I sat up and listened again. The sound didn't stop, so I got down carefully and opened the bedroom door. As I stepped into the living room, my husband came out of the kitchen immediately, like he sensed something. "I just came for water," he said with a smile, before I even asked. I stared at him. "I heard sounds," I whispered. He yawned. "It's probably the neighbors." Then he added calmly, "Let's go back to bed. It's late." I turned slightly, like I was going back to the room. He followed, talking softly, trying to make me relax. Then a sound came again, like something falling inside the kitchen. I spun around. Without thinking, I rushed for the door. "No!" he shouted. Too late. I pushed the door open and froze. A white egg lay near the cabinet, unbroken. I stood there frozen, staring at it. But the air smelled strange, like something had been burning. "Honey," I called softly, my voice shaking. "What's this? The kitchen smells like something is burning." My husband walked in calmly and glanced around. "I don't smell anything," he said flatly. He bent down, picked up the egg, and frowned. "I didn't see this when I came in for water. Maybe you left it here," he added. I shook my head slowly. "No, I've never bought eggs like this. This looks like a guinea fowl egg, and we don't even keep those." He laughed lightly, like I was overreacting. "You must be mistaken," he said. "Anyway, I'll throw it away." I watched him walk toward the back door with it. When he returned, his hands were empty. That night, sleep refused to come. The next morning, while we ate breakfast, I brought up the thought that had been sitting heavy on my heart. "I went for a checkup," I said carefully. "The doctor said everything is fine with me." He didn't look up from his plate. "You worry too much," he replied. "Some couples live happily without children." His tone was flat, final. I wanted to ask if he had ever checked himself, or if he even cared. But the words refused to come. That evening, alone in the house, my thoughts wouldn't settle. Something wasn't right. Without thinking, I walked back to the kitchen. My heart pounded as I searched, under the sink, behind the fridge, inside the cabinets. Then I saw it, behind the cupboard, wrapped carefully in a black nylon bag. My hands shook as I pulled it out. It was the egg, hidden deliberately. I didn't put it back. That evening, my husband came back earlier than usual. He wasn't alone. With him was an elderly man I had never seen before. I greeted them. They didn't answer. Without a word, my husband walked straight into the kitchen. I stayed where I was. A moment later, he came out and stopped. His face changed. The elderly man straightened slowly. They exchanged a look. Then both of them turned toward me. I was expecting my husband to ask about the egg. When he came out of the kitchen, I waited, but he didn't say anything. His face looked different, strange. He stood beside the elderly man he came in with. They moved a little away from me and started whispering. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but I saw my husband shaking his head like he was disagreeing. The elderly man's face hardened. He said something quietly. Then he turned and walked out angrily, like something had gone wrong. My husband stood there for a long time, silent. He didn't look at me. He walked into the bedroom, came out, went to the dining table, and ate quietly, like nothing happened. My mind was spinning. Then his phone rang. He stepped outside to answer it. When he returned, he looked worried, but he forced a smile. He started acting playful, cracking small jokes, asking if I was okay. I couldn't keep quiet anymore. "Who was that elderly man?" I asked softly. "And what were you talking about?" He smiled quickly. "He's just an old friend," he said. "He came to check on me. That's all." I nodded, but I knew he was lying. That evening, he became unusually kind. He smiled more. He stayed close. He even offered to cook for me. My husband had never cooked before. "Sit and rest," he said gently. "I'll make something special for you." I was surprised. Maybe everything was finally okay. When he served the food, it smelled good. He placed it in front of me. Then he stepped back. Far back. His hands were shaking. He turned his face away, avoiding my eyes. "Are you okay?" I asked. "Yes," he said quickly. "I just remembered something from work." He forced a smile. I began to eat. "Oh, this food is delicious," I said. He still couldn't look at me. Then his phone rang. He checked the screen and rushed outside. I stopped eating immediately. That was when I knew something was wrong. I stood up quietly and moved closer to the door. Then I heard it. His voice was shaking on the phone. "I've done it," he said. "But I don't know if she will ever forgive me." I froze. I stood there, frozen, after hearing my husband on the phone. "I've done it. But I don't know if my wife will ever forgive me." My heart trembled. I didn't understand everything yet. But I knew one thing. Something bad had been planned against me. I stepped back quietly, sat on the couch, and began to pray. "God, please expose the truth, protect me, and guide my heart." My husband walked in, but I didn't stop. Minutes passed, then 30 minutes, then almost an hour. He began to walk up and down, sighing, mumbling, restless, like something was disturbing him. "Please, stop praying," he said. "I can't take it anymore." I didn't answer. I kept praying. He stepped out, stepped back in. Then suddenly he walked closer. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I want to open up. I have a lot to say." I paused and looked at him. "Go on," I said. "I met that old man years ago when I was struggling," he began. "He promised me success, protection, money, but he said I must never have children. And I agreed. He gave me that egg, told me to hide it and do some things. That's why I always went to the kitchen." The room was silent. Then he continued. "When I couldn't find it today, I knew you had thrown it away. That's when the old man told me the only way out was to cook for you and say some things over the food." He took a deep breath. "I was scared. I didn't know what would happen to you. I kept watching you, but nothing happened. Now I understand. You're a strong woman. I'm sorry. Please, pray for me. I want to live freely, just like you." I saw his sincerity. We prayed together. We went for counseling. He cut off from the old man and everything connected to it. And he learned to be content with what we had. Months later, I became pregnant. Today, we are stronger. Marriage is beyond beauty, beyond feelings. Know who you marry, and never stop praying, because prayer doesn't just comfort you, it connects you to God. The end.